students, welcome back in this video. It's me Deependran Shrestha. Did you watch my previous video of force lesson and measurement lesson? If not, then go to the Grade TV, search in YouTube, and then you can watch the video of Daisy Education or Daisy School. Okay, today I am here with the simple machine lesson, third lesson of class 9. Okay, third lesson of class 9, simple machine lesson. Simple machine lesson, comparatively easy lesson for you because almost all the terms you have read in the previous class, class 8, class 7, class 6 too. Class 9 simple machine part is divided into two parts. Yeah, first part that is very similar to the previous classes like class 8, class 7, class 6, etc. And the second part that is new term for you, that is related about the moment. Okay, moment. So first second part is little bit new for you. Remaining first part is as usual. That means what you have read in the previous classes, same thing. Okay, students, today I am here with the simple machine lesson, and in simple machine lesson we are going to discuss about these terms like definition of simple machine, similarly functions of simple machines, mechanical advantage, velocity ratio, efficiency, ideal or perfect machine, factors that affect the efficiency of machine, how to increase the efficiency of simple machine, and some types of simple machine we are going to discuss today in this video. Simple machine. Simple term. This term simple means here the machine having structurally very simple, which does not need any fuel to run. Okay, simple machine, what we say, simple machine, that is actually structurally simple. Okay, single part, let's say, structurally simple, and which does not need any fuel to run. And in which we can apply the input at the convenient point and convenient direction. That is the simple machine. In lower class you have read simple machine is a device which makes our work easier, faster, convenient. Okay, that is also okay, definition. Okay, definition of simple machine, the device which makes our work easier, faster, convenient, that is also okay. But to understand, you have to know simple machine has simple structure, does not need any fuel to run, and in this machine we can apply our input at the convenient point in the convenient direction. This type of devices is simple machine. Okay, simple machine. So in our daily life we use simple machine to make our work easy, to do work fast, etc. Okay, so simple machine's functions, main functions of simple machine is first function, simple machine transfer the force from one point to another point. Okay, transfer the force from one point to another point. When you apply the force in one point, this force transfer to another point to do work. For example, I have a scissor. I have a scissor. So to cut any substances, I apply the input in this point. But this point, end of the scissor, cuts the paper like this. Okay, cuts the paper. Application of force is in this point, but action of force at the another point. This means this applied force transfer to the another point to do work. So first advantage, first function of simple machine, transfer the force from one point to another point. Okay, transfer the force from one point to another point. First function of simple machine, first application of or advantage of simple machine, that is transfer the force from one point to another point. Similarly, second point, simple machine change the direction of force, applied force. Simple machine can change the direction of applied force. Let's say to lift the load upward, we can apply the input downward. Like while lifting the water from the well, we use the pulley. Like here also I have an activity. So it's a single fixed pulley. Okay, single fixed pulley. I have hand load with the help of threads. Look at here. To lift this load, I can apply the effort downward. Yeah. When I apply the effort downward, load lifts upward. So it changes the direction of applied force. To lift the load upward, we can use the effort downward direction. Yeah. Change the direction of applied force. Simple machine can do it. Okay. Simple machine can change the direction of applied force. Similarly, simple machine can increase the speed of ore. Simple machine can increase the speed of ore. Let's say, here is I have an onion, part of onion. So without using simple machine, it takes more time to make piece. Okay, to make piece, it takes more time. But if I use a simple machine, look at here is another onion. Immediately it can do. That means simple machine can increase the speed of ore. We can complete the work in short period of time. Okay, we can complete the work in short period of time. Similarly, simple machine can magnify the applied effort. Simple machine can magnify the applied effort. Magnify means increase. That means to lift the heavy load, we can use the less effort also. Or by using the less effort, we can lift the heavy load. So simple machine can magnify the applied effort. Like here is paper. Yeah, paper. To make hole in this paper, very difficult. To make hole in this paper, I have to use more effort. Even I cannot make hole here. Okay. By using the more effort also, not possible to make hole. But here is I have another simple machine. If I use, look at here, became hole. It means using the less effort, I can do the work, or I complete the work. So by using the simple machine, we can magnify the applied effort. Using the less effort, we can complete our work. So simple machine magnify the applied effort. Using the less effort, we can complete the work. That's why 4 functions of simple machine, 4 advantages of simple machine. First one, transfer the force from one point to another point. Second one, magnify the applied effort. Third one, change the direction of applied force. Fourth one, increase the speed of force, which you have read in the lower class also. Okay, these are the functions of simple machine, advantage of simple machine. These are you have read in the lower class also, and here also you have to read. Okay. Now, in this lesson mainly we have to focus on the numerical problem of MA, VR, efficiency. Okay, mechanical advantage, velocity ratio, efficiency of different types of simple machine. So, mechanical advantage. What is the meaning of mechanical advantage? Mechanical advantage. Mechanical advantage means advantage that we use, advantage that we get after using the simple machine. After using simple machine, what type of advantage we get? After using simple machine, what type of advantage we get? That is the mechanical advantage. Okay, so after using simple machine, what type of advantage we get? Already we have discussed, like transfer the force from one point to another point, yeah, increase the speed of force, magnify the applied effort, yeah, change the direction of force. This type of functions we have discussed already. So what type of advantage we get after using the simple machine? That is the mechanical advantage. Advantage that we get after using the simple machine. But for exam purpose, mathematically we define. Mathematically, we define the mechanical advantage. Mechanical advantage means you have read in the, I can class it also, ratio of load and effort. You have read in the class it. Okay, ratio of load lifted to the effort applied. Okay, ratio of load lifted to the effort applied. Simply, you can say ratio of load and effort is called mechanical advantage. In exam frequently asked what is mechanical advantage. So remember, mechanical advantage, ratio of load and effort. Ratio of load and effort. Ratio of load and effort is mechanical advantage. To understand you have to remember, advantage that we get after using the simple machine, that is the mechanical advantage. Okay, but for the exam purpose, for the definition purpose, we write ratio of load and effort is mechanical advantage. Ratio of load and effort is mechanical advantage. You know, unit of load unit Newton. Okay, load unit Newton, effort unit also Newton. Then Newton cancel. So unit of mechanical advantage, no unit. Okay, no unit. So mechanical advantage has no unit. Mechanical advantage has no unit. Why mechanical advantage has no unit? Because it is a ratio of same physical quantity, load and effort. Both have the same unit. Newton cancel each other. Okay, Newton cancel each other. That's why there is no unit. It is the ratio of same physical quantity, i.e. load or effort, you can say. That is why this mechanical advantage has no unit. Definition, ratio of load and effort. Okay, definition, ratio of load and effort. That's the mechanical advantage. Mechanical advantage of the different machine has different. So if the mechanical advantage is 1 while calculating this ratio of load and effort, if you got value 1, mechanical advantage 1, mechanical advantage 1 means it cannot increase the speed of load, it cannot magnify the applied effort also. Only it can change the direction applied effort. To lift the load upward, we can pull downward, we can apply the effort downward direction. Okay, so if you get mechanical advantage 1 while calculating, then you have to understand it means this machine cannot magnify the applied effort, cannot increase the speed of work also, the direction of applied effort. Mechanical advantage 1. Okay, so mechanical advantage means change the direction of applied effort or direction of force. Okay, change the direction of force. Similarly, while calculating mechanical advantage, if you get mechanical advantage more than 1, it means machine can magnify the applied effort. Magnify the applied effort means using the less effort also you can lift the heavy load, you can complete the heavy work. Okay, using the less effort also you can complete the heavy works, you feel easy to do work. That is the magnification. So magnify the applied effort. If mechanical advantage is more than 1, then it means machine can magnify the applied effort. Magnify the applied effort. If mechanical advantage is less than 1, while calculating, if you get mechanical advantage less than 1 means it cannot magnify the applied effort. It cannot magnify the applied effort. It can increase the speed of work. You have to use more effort. Yeah, you have to use more effort, but it makes our work faster. We can complete the work in short period of time. So increase the speed of work. So increase the speed of work. So mechanical advantage, once again, mechanical advantage means a ratio of load and effort. You have read in the lower class also. Mechanical advantage has no unit. Why? Because it is the ratio of same physical quantity, load and effort. Both have the same unit cancel each other. And while calculating the mechanical advantage, if you get value 1, mechanical advantage is 1, it means such type of machine cannot increase the speed of work, such type of machine cannot magnify the applied effort, only such type of machine can change the direction of applied effort. Okay, can change the direction of applied effort. Similarly, while calculating the mechanical advantage, MA greater than 1, if you get greater than 1, then it means such type of machine magnify the applied effort. It means using the less effort also you can complete the heavy works. Using the less effort also you can lift the heavy loads. That is the mechanical advantage more than one. Magnify the applied effort. Similarly, if you get mechanical advantage less than one, mechanical advantage less than one at that time, such type of machine one increase the speed of work will be the faster. You can complete the work in short time, but you may have to apply the more effort also at that time. Okay, you may have to use the more effort, but work will be the faster at that time. So to make the work faster, you will get mechanical advantage less than one. Okay, that is the mechanical advantage. Mechanical advantage MA. Mechanical advantage MA equals to, let's say we have got 4. What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? Mechanical advantage of machine is 4. What does it mean? It means by using any effort, you can lift 4 times heavier load. 4 times heavier load. MA4 means 4 times heavier load can be lifted by using any effort. Any effort means if you use 100 Newton, then 400 Newton load you can lift. If you use 50 Newton, then 200 Newton load you can lift. 4 times heavier load you can lift while using any effort. That is the meaning of mechanical advantage 4. So in exam may ask, mechanical advantage of a machine is 2. What does it mean? Mechanical advantage of a machine is 2. What does it mean? It means 2 times heavier load can be lifted by using any effort. 2 times heavier load can be lifted by using any effort. If you use 500 Newton load, then you can, if you use 500 Newton effort, then you can lift 1000 Newton load. 2 times double load you can lift. So in MA what number is given? In MA what number is given? Same times of load you can lift using any effort. Okay, you can lift using any effort. So if mechanical advantage is 3, then 3 times heavier load can be lifted by using any effort. If you use 100 Newton effort, then you can lift 300 Newton load. 3 times heavier load you can lift. That is the meaning of mechanical advantage 3. So this type of question also may ask in your exam. Now we are going to discuss about the velocity ratio BR. Okay, velocity ratio BR. So don't forget mechanical advantage load over effort. Formula of mechanical advantage load over effort. Now velocity ratio BR. Velocity ratio simply definition in the term there is definition. Velocity ratio, it means a ratio of velocity actually. Velocity ratio means a ratio of velocity actually, but a ratio of velocity of effort to velocity of load. Okay, a ratio of velocity of effort to velocity of load. While calculating, you know, velocity means distance over time taken. Yeah, distance over time taken. So while calculating, you will get effort distance over load distance. That's why in class 7, I think you have read ratio of effort distance to load distance is velocity ratio. Okay, you can define, yeah, velocity ratio BR equals to ED by LD. Effort distance by load distance you can use, no problem. But actually BR means ratio of velocity of effort to velocity of load. Actually it is the meaning. Velocity ratio means ratio of velocity of effort to velocity of load. But you know velocity means a distance or displacement covered by to the time taken. Yeah, time taken, displacement by time taken, distance by time taken. So while using the ratio, you will find ED by LD. Okay, ED by LD. That's why you can say, you know, here velocity of effort means distance means effort distance by time taken, and velocity of load means distance covered by load to by time taken. So time cancel, you can say ED by LD here. So definition is ED by LD. That's why what is velocity ratio? In exam may ask, don't forget. Velocity ratio means ratio of effort distance to the load distance. In mechanical advantage, load to effort. In velocity ratio, effort distance by load distance. Don't forget. So ratio of effort distance to load distance is called velocity ratio. Okay, velocity ratio. And what is the unit of velocity ratio? Can you say unit of velocity ratio? No unit. Like the mechanical advantage, no unit. Why? Unit of distance. What's the distance? Effort distance, load distance. Distance unit, distance means length. Length unit meter. So effort distance unit meter, load distance unit meter. Meter cancel. That's why no unit. No unit. Okay. Effort this velocity ratio has no unit. Why? Because it is the ratio of same physical to same physical quantity, that is the length or distance. Yeah, so ratio of to same physical quantity, effort distance, load distance, unit of distance cancel each other, so no unit. Velocity ratio has no unit. Okay, velocity ratio has no unit because it is the ratio of to same physical quantities. Okay, now velocity ratio BR equals to, let's say, 3. What does it mean? Velocity ratio, like a mechanical advantage, we have discussed. Mechanical advantage 3 means 3 times heavier load can be lifted. Like this we have discussed. Then, what is the meaning of velocity ratio 3? Velocity ratio of a machine is 3. What does it mean? It means, ratio means related to the distance, effort distance and load distance. It means effort has to cover 3 times longer than that of the load distance. Effort has to cover 3 times longer than that of the load distance. If load is covered 1 meter, at that time effort has to cover 3 meters to get velocity ratio 3. Okay, if velocity ratio 5, then what does it mean? 5 times longer or 5 times effort has to cover than that of the load distance. Effort distance will be 5 times longer than load distance at that time. So velocity ratio related to the effort distance and load distance. So if velocity ratio 5 means effort has to cover 5 times longer distance than that of the load distance. That is the velocity ratio, meaning 5. Velocity ratio 2 means 2 times longer distance have to cover by the effort than that of the load. So don't forget velocity ratio ED by LD. Okay, and dear students, I think in class 8 also you have read BR is always greater than MA1. Velocity ratio is always greater than mechanical advantage of a machine. Why? Why it happens? Because velocity ratio is simply a distance, length. Let's say here to here or certain length. It is not affected by friction. It is not affected by friction. We have not used any other thing over it. Just length is this. So it is not affected by friction. Means length is, distance is, or BR is not affected by the friction. Velocity ratio is not affected by the friction, but mechanical advantage. I mean, there is the load. Load, say let's say a heavy load when you keep over a surface, that gives the pressure on the surface area. At that place, friction develops. Yeah, this load creates the friction over the surface. Okay, so this mechanical advantage which is related to the load and effort, that is affected by the friction. Mechanical advantage which is related to the load and effort. While using the effort also we have to pull, or certain place we have to press. At that time, 2 surface comes in contact. At that place, friction develops. Yeah, friction develops. Because of which this mechanical advantage is affected by the friction. But velocity ratio simply a length. We have not kept anything over it. At that time, it is not affected by the friction. So BR is not affected by the friction, but MA is affected by the friction. Because of the effect of friction, the value of mechanical advantage little bit decreases. Yeah, because of effect of friction, the value of mechanical advantage little bit decreases. That's why we say velocity ratio is always greater than mechanical advantage. Okay, velocity ratio is always greater than mechanical advantage. Why? wear is not affected by the friction, but mechanical advantage is affected by the friction. Wear is not affected by the friction, but mechanical advantage is affected by the friction. That is why velocity ratio is greater than mechanical advantage in any type of machine. Okay, student, now we are going to discuss about the efficiency of machine. Okay, so we have discussed a simple machine, functions of simple machine, mechanical advantage, velocity ratio. Now term efficiency. Okay, now efficiency. Actually, efficiency means capacity to do work. You can say like a work efficiency. It is denoted by eta. Okay, this symbol is called eta. Efficiency, eta. Efficiency means actually capacity, ability of machine to do work. Ability of machine, capacity of machine to do work. But mathematically we define a ratio of output work to input work, or percentage ratio. It is expressed in percentage. That's why percentage of ratio of output work to input work, that is called efficiency of machine, we say. Do you know what is the meaning of output work, input work? To do work, input, we have to apply the effort. So work done by the effort is input work. In any machine, to do work, first of all we have to apply the effort here. Input work. We have to apply the effort. Input work. Input work means work done by effort. We have to use work. We have to use effort on that. That's why work done by the effort is input work. After the application of work, machine completes the work. Over the load. That's why work done by the load is called output work. Work done by the load is called output work. Work done by load, output. Work done by effort, input. Okay. Effort, input. Work done by effort is input work, and work done by load is output work. And percentage ratio of output work to input work is efficiency of machine. Actually, simply ratio of output to input work, but it is expressed in percentage. That's why we say percentage of ratio of output work to input work is efficiency of machine. Okay, efficiency of machine. So efficiency means output work over input work. Times 100%. Okay, so output work by input work times 100% is the efficiency of machine. And just now I have discussed output means work done by load. Okay, work done by load is output. First of all, we have to apply the effort in the machine. So first of all, effort performs the work, and then after the application of effort, machine start to run or act over the load. So load works at that time. That's why work done by the load is output work. So output work means work done by the load. You know, work means force times displacement. Here force means load. That's why load times load distance in the work. In class 8 you have read work means force times the displacement. Force times displacement is work. So force means in the output work. Here force means load, and distance means load distance. Similarly, input work means effort, work done by the effort. So here force means effort. Force means effort, and distance means effort distance. That's why we say E times ED. E times ED times 100%. So L into LD by E times CD by 100%. Student, look at here. Can we arrange these terms in this way? L by E times ED by LD into 100%. Can we arrange these terms like this way? What do you think? Can we? Load over effort as usual, okay? And times. Now, in denominator here is ED, numerator is LD. I have arranged this ED in usual place, but LD in denominator of ED. In mathematics, you have written like this way. So x by 2, y by 4. At that time, we can use x by 2 times 4 by y like this way. Yeah. So same thing I have done here. Here is nothing. Let's say 1. You can say 1. I have replaced this term in the denominator of ED. So we can do like this. Here, L by E, load over effort means mechanical advantage. We have defined already. We have defined already mechanical advantage. Load over effort means mechanical advantage. Over 1 by means denominator. Okay, that is 1 over means denominator. ED by LD means velocity ratio. Velocity ratio. So in denominator, velocity ratio, ED by LD. L by E means MA times 100%, 100%. So efficiency can be defined, can be expressed in mechanical advantage and velocity ratio also. So percentage ratio of the mechanical advantage and velocity ratio is called efficiency of machine. Anyway you can define. Okay? Anyway you can define. Whether you can define like percentage ratio of output work to input work, otherwise percentage ratio of MA and BR is called efficiency. It is easy, yeah? It is easy. So percentage ratio of MA and BR is efficiency. That is the efficiency of a machine. And efficiency of a machine cannot be 100% in practical life. Efficiency of a machine cannot be 100% in practical life. Why? Do you know? To be 100% efficient, machine should be frictionless. Yeah. To be 100% efficient, machine should be frictionless. And can you imagine frictionless machine in our daily life? Can you imagine? While applying the effort, friction developed here. While keeping the machine, friction developed. While rolling, while moving the parts of machine, friction developed. So in practical life, we cannot imagine, we cannot make the frictionless machine. It is just hypothetical. It is just hypothetical, just imaginary. Yeah, just imaginary. We can imagine only, yeah, it can be like this, but in practical life, it is not. So, in practical life, we cannot make frictionless machine. Because of the friction, some energy is used to overcome that friction. Some energy, what we use in the machine, used to overcome the friction, and efficiency decreases. So a machine cannot have the 100% efficiency. Why? A machine cannot have 100% efficiency. Why? Because in daily practice there is no frictionless machine. In daily practice there is no frictionless machine. Some energy that we use in the machine is used to overcome the friction. That is converted into the heat, yeah, sound, etc. Because of which efficiency of machine decreases. So machine cannot have 100% efficiency. Then efficiency of a machine is 75%. What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? Efficiency of a machine is 75%. What does it mean? Already we have discussed machine or those machine which we use in our daily life cannot be 100% efficient. Some energy that we use in the machine is used to overcome the friction will be lost due to friction, because of which efficiency of machine decreases, cannot have 100% efficiency. Here is question. Efficiency of a machine is 75%. What does it mean? 75% efficiency means out of 100%, 75% of input work, 75% of input work or 75% effort is used to do useful work, you can say. Useful work. The effort that we use in the machine, Out of this, 75% is used to do useful work. Now remaining 25% is lost due to friction or to overcome the friction. So 75% converted into input work, output work, and 25% lost. 75% converted into output work and 25% lost. We have applied 100% input, but output came only 75%. Okay, we have applied 100% input effort, but outcome only 75%. 25% lost to overcome the friction. Okay, 25% lost to overcome the friction. This is the meaning. Okay, similarly, let's say a machine has 70% efficiency. What does it mean? It means 70% applied effort is converted into output work. 70% applied effort is converted into output work. Remaining 30%, total 100% you know, remaining 30% is lost due to friction or to overcome the friction, converted into heat, sound, etc. So 30% lost in the friction to overcome the friction. It converts into the heat energy, converts into the sound energy, and 70% is used to do useful work, used to output work. That's the meaning. Ideal machine or perfect machine. Ideal machine or perfect machine. Sometimes we ask, name the machine which have 100% efficient, like this. So ideal machine or perfect. Perfect means no loss of energy here. Yeah, perfect, no loss of energy. So if a machine have output work and input work equal, yeah, if there is output and input work are equal, then we say that is the 100% efficient. If the machine is frictionless, no loss of energy. If the machine is frictionless, no loss of energy, at that time machine will be perfect. That is ideal machine. So ideal machine means machine in which input work and output work are equal. Machine in which input work and output work are equal, which is frictionless machine where no energy is lost. That is the perfect machine. That is the ideal machine, and that has 100% efficient. But in daily practice, it is not possible. It is only hypothetical. Okay, only we can imagine. Can have like this or not? Yeah, hypothetical only. Only hypothetical. In daily practice, up to now, there is no frictionlessness. So no machine have 100% efficient, but only we can imagine. If the machine have 100% efficient, then its name will be perfect machine, ideal machine. That is the ideal machine or perfect machine. Now, factor affecting efficiency. Okay, factor affecting efficiency. Efficiency of a machine is affected by the different factors. Efficiency of a machine is affected by different factors. First, friction. Already we have discussed. Friction always opposes the motion of the body. Always disrupt to move the body. If you push any object, then friction acts towards you. If you pull any object, friction acts away from you. It's always against the direction of motion of the object. Because of the friction, some energy is lost at that time and reduce the efficiency. So first point is friction. Friction reduces the efficiency of machine. Another one, weight of movable parts of machine. Weight is directly related to the gravity. Okay, gravity. If the body have more mass, that is affected by the more force of gravity. If the body has the less mass, affected by the less force of gravity, pulls downward with the less force, can move freely. If the body has less mass, less weight, then affected by the less gravity, pull down with the less force and can freely rotate. But if the body has the more mass, more weight, more force of gravity, pull down and difficult to move freely. That's why gravity or weight of movable parts of the body also affects the efficiency of machine. Okay, so remember, friction and weight of movable parts of machine. Friction or gravity, you can say anyone. Okay, friction or gravity, or friction and weight of movable parts of machine, that can decrease the efficiency of machine. Then how can we increase? How can we increase? How can we increase the efficiency of a machine? To increase the efficiency of machine, first one, we have to reduce the friction. And to reduce the friction, what can we do? We have to reduce the friction. But to reduce the friction, what can we do? First one, we can use lubricant like a grease, oil, etc. Okay, which slips the movable parts easily. So by using lubrication like a grease, oil, etc., we can reduce the friction. Similarly, by polishing the surface, if there is the rough surface, then more friction produced. But if we make smooth surface, there will be the less friction. So by polishing the surface also, we can reduce the friction. Similarly, if we use the ball bearing, if we use ball bearing that rolls on the ground, that also reduce the friction comparatively. Okay, comparatively reduce the friction. These are the ways of reducing the friction to increase the efficiency of machine. And to reduce the effect of gravity, what can we do? We can reduce the weight of movable parts of machine. We can use the light offset. Yeah. If you have used iron device, iron parts, then you can use aluminium. Yeah. Aluminium is lighter than iron, so we can use the lighter parts, which are less affected by the force of gravity and can increase the efficiency of machine. So in this way, we can increase the efficiency of machine. But remember, output ore is always less than input ore. Output ore in machine, okay? In machine, output ore is always less than input ore. Why? Output ore is always less than input ore. Why? Output ore means load into load distance. Input ore, effort into effort distance. So after the application of the effort, because of the friction inside the machine, some energy used to overcome the friction. That's why output will be less. Yeah, we use 100% effort there, but all 100% effort cannot perform the work. Some effort has to use to overcome the friction. Some effort is converted into the heat, sound, etc. Because of which output work will be the less than that of the input work. So these are the terms related to the efficiency. Now we are going to discuss about the types of simple machine. Okay, types of simple machine. Types of simple machine in class 7, 8 also you have read. Same: lever, pulley, wooden axle, screw, weighs, etc. In class 9, we have to discuss about the lever, pulley, wooden axle, inclined plane. 4 simple machine. With a numerical problem of MABR efficiency like this, we have to discuss about the numerical problem related to this 4 types of simple machine. So first one is lever. Okay, first one is lever. Lever, okay, you know. Don't forget, okay, LIVER and LEVER. Yeah, LIVER, lever, yeah, parts, organs of human body or organs. That is LEVER, lever we have to use. Living and non-living parts, you can say here. LEVER is non-living, LIVER is living parts. Yeah. So lever in lower class, in class 6, class 7, class 8, also you have read about the lever. Do you know who used the lever at first time? I think you have read in the lower class. Yeah, Archimedes said that, give me a point to support or for a fulcrum, I can turn the earth. He said like that. Okay, give me a point for fulcrum. Fulcrum means supporting point. Okay, give me a point for fulcrum. I can turn the earth using the lever. He said that. That means lever is so efficient, simple machine. Lever is so efficient, simple machine. So lever is a long rigid bar. Long rigid bar. Necessary to be straight or not? No. That can be straight or bent. No problem. Okay. Straight or bent, no problem, but must be rigid, hard. Okay, hard, strong. So a long rigid bar that may be straight or bent and capable to rotate about a fixed point. And this fixed point, this supporting point is called fulcrum. You have read in class 6, 7, 8. So it is not new for you. Definition of lever. Lever is a long rigid bar that may be straight or bent. That may be straight or bent and capable to rotate about a fixed point. About a fixed point, that is, this point is called fulcrum or pivot or supporting point. This is lever. So lever is long rigid bar that may be straight or bent and capable to rotate about a fixed point called lever. So any long rigid bar you can use as a lever. Like marker is also a little bit straight or rigid bar, you can use as a lever. Okay. So anything, here is a scale, little bit long, you can use as a lever also. No problem. So lever is rigid bar that may be straight or bent and capable to rotate about a fixed point called fulcrum or pivot also we say. Lever has three different points. Yeah, three different points you have read in the lower class also. The supporting point where the lever takes support, that is called fulcrum. Yeah, fulcrum. U. And in one side we use the effort. We use effort, and another side load is lifted. So effort, load, and fulcrum. Effort, load, and fulcrum are the three different points that we can find on a lever. Yeah. So applied force is effort, resisting force is load, the place where the lever takes support, that is the fulcrum. Rotating point is fulcrum. Distance from effort to fulcrum, that is called effort distance. Distance from effort to fulcrum, that is called effort distance. And distance from fulcrum to load is load distance. So effort distance, load distance. Distance between fulcrum to effort distance, fulcrum to load distance. Fulcrum to effort distance, fulcrum to load distance. So effort, load, fulcrum, effort distance, load distance. Due to the balance of effort distance and load distance, due to the balance of effort distance and load distance, otherwise you can say according to the position of load, fulcrum and effort, lever can increase the speed of work, can magnify the work or apply effort, etc. Can change the direction of force only like this. So remember, already we have discussed in mechanical advantage, if MA is more than 1, then magnify the effort, less than 1, just increase the speed of work like this way. Similarly here also, if, remember, okay, note, as a note, if effort distance is in a lever, okay, if effort distance is longer than load distance, if effort distance is longer than load distance, then such type of lever magnify the applied effort. Magnify the applied effort. Applied effort. Okay. So if ED is longer than LD, effort distance is longer than load distance, then it can magnify the applied effort. That means using the less effort also we can complete our work. Yeah, magnify the applied effort. If ED is less than LD or LD is longer than ED, such type of lever increase the speed of work. Increase the speed of work. Increase the speed of work. So if LD is load distance is longer than effort distance. Otherwise, if effort distance is less than load distance, then in that time, in such situation, just increase the speed of flow. Okay, increase the speed of flow. So, if ED and LD are equal, if ED and LD are equal, then at that time, neither such type of machine magnify the applied effort nor increase the speed of work. Just helps to change the direction of applied effort. Okay, change the direction of force. Change the direction of force. Direction of force. So on the basis of this node, you can identify this type of machine, increase our speed of work, magnify the effort, or just change the direction of force. Okay, like you know, there are three types of lever: first class lever, second class lever, third class lever. Here we don't have to discuss individual types of the lever. Anyway, there are three types of lever. You have read in the lower class. We can define like this way: fairly. So if fulcrum in the middle, these are the middle terms. Okay, if the fulcrum in the middle, first class. If load in the middle, second class. If effort in the middle, third class. Like this way, I think you have read in the lower class. Yeah. If fulcrum is in between the load and effort, then that is the first class lever. Fulcrum in the middle, first class lever. Load in the middle, second class lever. Load in between the fulcrum and effort, second class lever. And if effort in between the fulcrum and load, then that is the third class lever. Like this way, in lower class you have read about the first class, second class, and third class lever. Anyway, do you know which class lever is this? I have seizure. Which class lever is this? Can you guess? It is first class lever. Supporting point, rotating point is this. So this is the fulcrum point, rotating point, fulcrum. That's the fulcrum. We apply the effort by the help of finger. We apply the effort. This is the effort point. And to cut any object, we keep here. This is the load point. Okay, load point. So look at here. Effort here, rotating point is this. That is the fulcrum, and load is here. So fulcrum in between the load and effort. This is the first class lever. This is first class lever. Similarly, this one, punching machine. Which class of lever is this? Can you say which class lever is this? It is, look at here. We apply the effort in this point. Okay, effort here. We apply the effort in this point. Supporting point is here. Connecting point. Here is connecting point. Connecting point is fulcrum. Okay, supporting point is fulcrum. Here is fulcrum. Here is effort. Now to make the hole, we keep the load here in the middle. In the middle there is like a pin. That pin makes the hole here. So load acts in the middle. Fulcrum is in one end and effort in another end. That is why it is second class lever. Yeah, second class lever. And this one, this is called forceps. Yeah, if it is big, then we say tongs also. Yeah, tongs. Forceps. So what type of lever is this? It is, look at here. Here we have used effort. In the middle we use effort. Supporting point is here. Here, 2 point. These two parts connecting in this point. This is the fulcrum point. Yeah, we apply the effort from the middle, and to catch anything, let's say to catch this one is the load. This one is a load. Okay, this one is a load. We have applied the effort from here, and connecting point is this. That means effort in the middle. Effort in the middle, third class lever. So it is third class lever. Third class lever cannot magnify the effort. In class 8, class 7 you have read. Third class lever cannot magnify the applied effort because effort in the middle and load distance is always longer than effort distance. Look at here. Let's say lever, effort in the middle, one side fulcrum, another side load. So this is third class lever. Third class lever. In third class lever, fulcrum to effort distance, fulcrum to load distance. Whether this one is effort distance, this whole length is load distance. If you keep this effort here, effort distance will be very less. If you keep the effort in this point, effort distance will be little bit longer, but cannot be longer than load distance, because whole length of the lever acts as load distance here. In one end there is fulcrum, on the end there is load. Only we can change the effort here in the middle effort. If you keep the effort nearer to the fulcrum, effort distance will be very less. If you keep the effort nearer to the load, effort distance will be longer, but not more longer than load distance. That means load distance is always longer than effort distance in third class lever. Load distance is always longer than effort distance in third class lever. And already I have mentioned here, if the load distance is longer, then cannot magnify the effort, only it can increase the speed of work. We have to use more effort, but work will be faster. Work will be faster. Okay.